Rachel has been renting for 28 years after fleeing domestic violence with 3 children under 5.
So many people, they just want to stop and lay roots, and we're tired, Sarah, we're tired of moving constantly, and we want our children to build a foundation.
She's experienced homelessness, living in a caravan, granny flat and moving in with friends.
I represent people like nurses, teachers, everyday Australians.
In Sydney, a person earning $70,000 has to spend 65% of their income on rent. At $100,000, almost half their income on rent, and is still in rental stress, earning $130,000 annually.
You would think that the results of this snapshot would be better because we're looking at people who are on middle to high income earners, but in fact what we found is that they're still struggling.
Elsewhere across the state, all households earning $70,000 are in rental stress. And with an income of $100,000, rents in the Blue Mountains and North and South Coast are still considered unaffordable. Today, the federal government announced $304 million to support the build of 60,000 homes.
So things like the road infrastructure, water, sewage, other utilities.
Most of the funding is for community spaces, not actual homes.
If a young Australian 5 years ago had been able to access super and buy their first home, their net asset position today would be hundreds of thousands of dollars better off.
The Everybody's Home report states the impact of rental stress threatens economic productivity, forcing workers out of cities and regional towns where they are so needed. With a 6-figure salary no longer the ticket to a stable home.
So this just highlights the point, right? Like, even if you're making 130k in Sydney, you can't live on your own. And that's the problem. This system that we live in, the economy, it's, if you don't live with someone, you're not surviving, right? Well, you're barely surviving. This is why so many people are getting pushed into homelessness and just moving back in with their parents because they can't afford a house to rent on their own. And like, some people have commented like, oh, you know, if you are 37 and you haven't bought a house, like, you're the problem. Clearly, when there was low interest rates, house prices were lower. But yet, you know, like her situation, she was in a domestic violence, or, you know, you separate from your partner, and both, in the end, both people get screwed over in that situation. So it's rough for people that, you know, get into a crap situation later in life. It doesn't work out well for them.